This is Tom Duty. This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. In a recent Ubereats beginner training, I gave an account of a fucked up delivery. Get Japanese food in my neighborhood. I call them, I warn them that I'm a walker. And I start walking. I come to realize it's 4 miles. Like, okay, the system says it's okay. The customer is going to know where I am. The customer can call me if he wants. So I'm just going to walk. 4 miles is, an hour for me. Google Maps says it's an hour and 20 minutes. So I start walking. And quite honestly, it was nice. Relaxing, nice evening. And 3 miles into the trip, my phone rings. It was getting a little old. I was probably 45 minutes out. And the customer decided to come and meet me and get it, which turned out to be very easy. So, this was a disaster. And I've thought since the beginning that some of my trips were a little bit long, knowing that the app knows that I'm a walker. Why is it giving me these trips that, to me, seem out of reach? Well, this 4 mile trip there's no debate. It's not just Uber thinks walkers can go a little further than I was applying what I knew from on-demand delivery before, saying that Uber should know better. But maybe this is just their interpretation, and this is on the long side. So when I got the 4 mile delivery, now it's absolutely, this is ridiculous. I can't get, no one would interpret this as acceptable. So even though Uber might kind of see things that my past on-demand delivery and my common sense and what I imagine patient hungry people would want to wait, they want to wait for someone to walk 4 miles. And that's in addition to waiting for the restaurant to prepare the food, waiting for me to get to the restaurant and so on. Now, dude, the alarm goes off. It's my obligation to do something about it because 4 miles is not an assignment I can take a second time. So this morning, Hoboken had an appointment with the Uber office in Hoboken. They're called green light locations. This one is cool. They're probably all cool. This is new. It's got this nice wooden spiral staircase. It goes up to the second level, and you walk in. It's very efficient. You tap your name and email address and phone number, and if it reconciles with your profile, which mine didn't. I used the wrong number, but it found me anyways. Puts me up on the board. The board calls me. I take a seat, wait. The board gives an estimate of progress, and my name pops to the top, and I go have a one-on-one with a Uber Pro. Absolutely awesome. He says what's a walker? He looked at me like the concept was completely foreign to him. Like, what do you mean? It's on my app. Well, let me see. I said, well, the app's not loaded right now. All right. So he ends up moving me to someone who seemed to have more advanced knowledge, more advanced troubleshooting. And so I ended my conversation with him and began my conversation with the woman next to him. And she was awesome. She had online with someone very quickly. She typed faster than anyone I've ever seen type. And it's resolved. New Jersey has no walkers. I was put into a category that doesn't exist. So that limit of 3 miles and 4 miles, those long deliveries I got, that has nothing to do with being a walker. That wasn't limited to anything. I was probably could have gotten a 20-mile delivery. I were a car. So I was just miscategorized, and the limits that would be on a walker, though they exist and are limited to very short routes in the areas where there are walkers. New York City is one of them. That limit doesn't apply to the category I was in. I was in a phantom category that shouldn't have existed. How I got there is a mystery. I was in New Jersey when I registered. My GPS would have said New Jersey. I have a New Jersey address that I used to register. There is nothing that I did that in a category that doesn't exist. But nonetheless, I got there. And so I started Uber with the idea that I'd be able to be a walker. I do not have a bike. I do not have a car. And I do not have a scooter. So I got to quit Uber, do it in the city, or remedy my gig. I am going to remedy my gig and possibly do it in the city, do it in New York City, Manhattan also. So at the moment, I'm shopping scooters. I don't think I want a bicycle. So then I asked the question, what is the delivery limit for bicycles? She didn't know. She began hunting, and in minutes determined it was 2 miles. So by my calculation, I can be nearly as fast on a scooter as I am on a bike. Now I don't have pedals. I don't have a chain. I don't have as much maintenance. And I can also get one really cheap that I can like leave outside a restaurant without much worry. If it gets stolen, you can sort of catch a thief on a scooter more easily than you can if he or she makes off with a bicycle. So I think my gig is going to convert. I'm going to start shopping scooters today, and I'm going to restart, maybe this week. I wish today. I really love this work, but it's Monday and my attention multiple places. Uber's one of them, but I'm not sure I'm going to get the time for it. But if I do, it'll be later this evening or later in the week. Certainly Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday, definitely. So that's the lesson. The screen here is Ubereats, New Jersey walkers. There are none. There was one. The history of New Jersey walkers is one person. It's Tom Duty. I began and ended the category. All right, on the tail end of this, a short editorial. These tech companies are cool. They have a culture of their own that is kind of unique about tech companies, and at the same time, they have unique characteristics within those companies. But there is something unique about tech companies. I bank with Simple. It's a bank, not a tech company, but it's a tech company. It's in Oregon. At least all the customer service people are there. Their app is efficient and clever, and their way of verifying who you are is awesome and efficient and modern. I did Postmates, which is definitely a tech company, and now Uber, which is, like the grand mega of tech companies in this on-demand services category. Uber, Lyft, Postmates, these are very big names, certainly much bigger than Simple. But anyway, so I now have firsthand experience with Simple and Postmates and Uber. And there is this overrunning idea that someone will deny this if anyone ever heard this, and especially if they work in this industry and they're actually an employee in this industry and not just a service provider like I am, an independent contractor like I am, or a customer like I am with the bank. But I'm going to try to articulate it this way. They have to be cool. Their fashion, they're mostly young. Their apps are something to be proud of. Their online presence is something to be proud of. Their language is kind of modern and hip. But it's okay to be wrong. So, there's no apologies for me being an NJ Walker when there is no such thing as an NJ Walker. It's certainly not my fault, but they look at me like it's not their fault either. It's just kind of the app. The app and the tech and the programming, it seems to me it's like this kind of gray monster. And when that app makes mistakes and somehow I get registered as a walker in New Jersey, which is no fault of my own that I can trace, it also is no fault of theirs that they can trace. Well, that's what's kind of bullshit, because it is sort of their fault and they could sort of be apologetic, but not a whisper of it. And I don't need apologies. I'm not fishing for apologies. I think it's kind of cool that they don't apologize. They don't feel like they need to apologize. That's fine. But I'm saying with traditional companies, certainly banks, they would feel the need to apologize and say, hey, take some responsibility. But there seems to be none with the tech companies, because it's like that's the way the app is. It's like the app isn't the company. And Simple, this is hot for me today, because Simple has gigged me now for at least 5 $2 ATM fees on apps, on machines that are reported to be free by their app. So the app says it's free. Reality says it's not free. What is reality? That means when me, Tom Duty, uses it, I get gigged for $2, but the app says it should be free. And again, it's like the people are like, hey, you might want to stop using it. Please, listeners, listen to what I'm saying. I have an app that says this is free. I go use it. It's not free. I talk to the people at the company. They should be saying, hey, God, thanks for detecting this. This is irreconcilable. We're going to fix it. Sorry about the problems. That's not how they respond. They respond as though it's like, sucks to be you. The app kind of gigged you. Now you've had to make like 5 phone calls to chase $2. They should thank me for doing their quality control work. And they don't. They kind of think it's okay. So this is a wide-sweeping conclusion, wide-sweeping prejudicial statement about an entire industry centered in San Francisco, when it may not be fair. I'm only kind of putting a few little things together, my personal experience, to say there's something wrong here. These people think the app is like not them, and it's not their company, and it's sort of, when you get gigged by the app, it might be your fault. And you might get this classification of Uber, New Jersey Walker, and it doesn't exist. Sucks to be you. You might get gigged for a $2 fee on an ATM that's supposed to be free. Ha ha, sucks to be you. It just is, I could say maddening, but I'm not mad about this. I'm not for a second turning away from tech. I'm attracted to it. I'm addicted to it. It's fun. There's also some idiosyncrasies of this kind of tech personality that's modern and undefined and evolving. And so today I had 2 of them kind of swack me in the. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. To visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.